everyone. Welcome to another episode of the PHC Trainer Spotlight Show. I'm here with a very special guest, Cass Tatum. Cass, welcome.
Thanks, Aiden.
Good to have you here. So we're here in the Big Star Backyards booth at the 2023 NCHA Summer Spectacular. And we're coming to learn a little bit more about Cass's life. Cass, you just came off your 4-year-old intermediate open win. How does it feel on Showboat?
Oh man, it feels great.
Good. A metallic rebel out of Racy Moon?
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about that horse.
Barker sent her to me after the 2-year-old year. Dan Edwards had her. Did a phenomenal job. She's just super electric on a cow, stops extremely hard, tries her guts out every trip. So she's probably been the funnest one I've had to train.
That's awesome. And you've got quite the string of them. You've got Craven Sugar, a homebred horse. You just come off the 4-year-old 15K novice win and the non-pro. How does that feel?
Oh man, that was fun. I've struggled with that mare all year. I felt something special in her, and it was cool for it to finally connect.
It finally came around
Yes,
and worked out at the end. And that's been a real good horse for Chelsea to show in the non-pro, huh?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to get to watch Chelsea show her because owning her mama, and her mom has been her favorite horse. You know, it's very rewarding getting to see your wife show a horse that she loves. You know, has so much sentimental value.
Definitely. The sentimental, along with a championship and a lot of finalists now.
Yeah.
It's all coming around.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good deal. So tell me a little bit about the background. How'd you get into cutting? Were your parents involved in it or anything?
No, both of my parents were school teachers. My sister's a teacher and my brother's a preacher.
All eaters.
Yeah, they're all eaters for sure. Noah White, which is Cheyenne Porterfield's granddad, was the first guy who kind of took me under his wing, started teaching me how to rope, start colts, and I think 2008 I took a job with Ty Brown. That was my first cutting job. Moved to Hope, Arkansas. A West Texas boy, moved to Arkansas.
A little different scenery out there for you.
Yeah, now I know why Matt Miller's like Matt Miller is, but anyways, no, it's different, but it was cool getting my foot in the door.
Yeah.
Getting to learn. I'd never been around horses like that. I didn't know about boots, slinkies.
No, it was way different than the ranch horse.
I cowboyed for, quite a few years, and it was kind of cool.
Wow.
What I thought was a broke horse was, I thought you drop a 27 in a colt's mouth and tie off and go rope something and they stop. That was a big deal. I had no idea the mindset of good horses or, the brokenness.
Right.
It's been pretty fun.
A little bit, a little different than the old ranch rodeo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you've had a lot of great mentors along your life. Lloyd Cox comes to mind. Can you tell me about any more?
Clay's been super big for me. Matt Miller's been huge. Matt kind of helped me get my name back in this industry and get to where I wanted to be. Clay's been very huge. Whenever I struggle, I go to Clay for advice. I've used, I have very close friends, Nate Gribble, Brendan Dufferina, Christian Miller, a lot of them guys. But Lloyd, it was very fun getting to work for Lloyd. Lloyd's mental aspect, his horsemanship, the mental game to a horse, there's a reason he's the $11 million rider.
Yeah, it's well deserved.
Yeah, no, in my opinion, he's the Michael Jordan of the cutting.
Yeah, he's done so much, and he not only for himself, but he helps everyone coming in and out, and he's like another one of those guys like the Paul Hansman types, and just some of the best that want to pass on their knowledge and help other riders as well.
Oh, absolutely, and Lloyd's always there. I still talk to him quite a bit. I struggled there like around the Super Stakes with Showboat, and I went to him for a lot of advice, and Sean Flynn. I went to Sean Flynn and Lloyd for quite a bit of advice, and they both helped me out. Big A helped me out. It's cool seeing the people that you look up to be able to lend you a helping hand. I think mainly because they know that I try hard and I want to be better, but they don't have to give their time to me like that, and it's so cool. You have that upper echelon of trainers, Clay, Lloyd, Big A, Sean Flynn, you know, guys like that when I go to them, they actually take the time and they give me the knowledge that they work their asses off to get, and they don't have to give that to me.
And they know you've done the same, so I feel like they see that in you as well, and you know they just want to, you know, it's such a close knit community. Everyone wants to help everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the funnest part about the sport. You know, they want to see you succeed, even if it means that you beat them or they beat you. It doesn't matter. They want to see you get to where you want to be, and that's super cool to me.
Definitely. They'll even be standing in the corner helping you beat them sometimes.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
That's such it's a great, not only, you know, it's an individual sport, but it's really a team sport.
Absolutely. Well, you got to
It
have
takes a
help,
village.
you know, yeah.
It takes a village. Yeah, definitely. So, what were the challenges that you may have faced? You know, going out on your own. You've got your own place here in Ardmore, or over in Ardmore,
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
Dixon, yeah.
Yes, sir. So, what are some challenges you've run up, and how have you overcome those?
Well, I'll tell you, so my mother-in-law worked for Bill Freeman, Penny Wilson worked for Bill Freeman for 25 years, and when I started considering buying a place, I bought a place, and she told me, she said, Cass, I've seen it time after time, the first year is your best year. And she said, if you can weather through the second year, you have it beat. And I completely agree with that. That first year, it was rainbows and butterflies and all that good stuff, you know. That second year, I had to dig deep, and it's been tough, but the coolest thing is I have a really great set of customers. I feel like I have one of the better set of customers in my barn that any barn has. I get along with all of them great, and they support me 100%, which is huge, because being young, you're going to make mistakes. You don't have that veterans knowledge like the best do, like Lloyd, Big A, Sean Clay, all them guys, and it's been very satisfying to me to be able to own my own place, build it. I pretty much built everything on my place myself, and to see your hard work pay off, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been out to your place, and it doesn't hurt when you got a little pond out there. You can go take the paddle boat out and go do a little fishing.
Yeah, no, I love fishing.
Yes, sir.
You have to have an out, you know. It's no different than a 9 to 5. It's very different from a 9 to 5. But my point being is, in any profession, you have to be able to get away. So for me, fishing or doing, you know, roping, anything like that, that's my getaway. That's my release.
Fishing and roping. Anything else you like to do? Anything out of the ordinary?
Man, I really enjoy hanging out with my son.
Yep.
That's cool. And me and my wife, we bought a boat and a few jet skis, and we go out on the lake quite a bit. And really, it's been the best release for me, being able to get away and do something different, you know.
Yeah, and you got I think I saw the George Foreman little setup on the boat.
Oh, absolutely. Well, not a George Foreman. No, I got me a little flame griller.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah,
Does the job.
I like cooking.
Yep.
In fact, I love cooking, and what's better than being on the party barge of the lake, the Cadillac of the lake, being able to cook, jump in the water, do
Yes.
whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah.
You want to pop a top. you
Free
know?
bird. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm
sir.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You throw the jet skis into the mix. You go get your Need for Speed on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go get on the pontoon, slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, it's been fun.
Yeah. Good deal.
It's fun. You know, everybody that's been successful, it's a grind. So it's been very rewarding to be able to see your hard work pay off, but to be able to get away too, you know, there's got to be a release. There's a release for horses. There's a release for us. And horses are no different than us. We want time off.
Yeah.
They want time off. And I think both parties need time off and deserve time off.
Oh yeah. I mean, just working and working. You know, sometimes you can't see the problem until you step away from it. And so, you know, breaks every now and then, they've got to be crucial.
No, and I agree with that, and I feel like you're a big proponent for that, because you're on the road quite a bit, you know. So when you get your downtime and you ain't got to be on the road, you're probably fairly excited about not having to be on the computer and getting to go do something you enjoy.
Yeah, you know, being home a little bit. Yeah, it never hurts.
Yeah,
It never hurts.
The best part for me is I get to take my family on the road with me. So
Yeah.
we're always around each other, you know. But it's hard, you know, and I wouldn't be where I was at without my wife, you know, because I'm probably one of the most unbusiness savvy individuals there are. I feel like the reason that my success is where it's at is mainly because she tends to everything, and the only thing I tend to is if something breaks down at the ranch, I'll fix it, and training horses, so I don't have all those other struggles or, you know.
Well, that just kind of reverts back to what I said earlier. I mean, it takes a village, you know.
Oh,
You've got-
absolutely.
that's just your support staff right there, you know. She's, you know, kind of keeping you on top of everything and making sure you're where you need to be. I know sometimes it can be a struggle for me, so I can't imagine when you got, you know, a load of trailer full of horses coming down the road and you got to be this place, and that place. You know, I can't imagine it.
Well, they always said I wasn't the brightest crayon on the box, but by God, she loves pink and she shines bright. So
There you go.
I'll give her that.
There you go. Well, you know, it always helps if they're colorblind too.
Thank God for that. Thank God
Well,
for
that's
that.
awesome. And so your son, is he taking a liking into the cutting at all? Or is
Slowly but surely.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's kind of like that fish that you've been wanting to catch for a long time, and that bobber drops, and then it goes away for a little bit. His bobber's starting to drop a little
Starting
bit.
to drop. Well, there you go. I mean, that's got to be a pretty proud moment for you.
Man, it's if I could get him to take the bait, it would be pretty cool. I always dreamed of getting the opportunity to ride horses. Like I've loved horses since I was a little kid. My parents supported it, but we didn't really have the funds for it. I grew up. My parents. Cool story about my parents. We were very broke growing up. I ate hot dogs and Spam. There's two things I hate. I hate hot dogs and Spam, man. But my parents, I think I was 9, and they did 4 years of college and 2 and got their teaching degree. And I remember my first pair of good tennis shoes they bought me because I loved playing basketball, and I was like, wow, I finally got a pair of Nikes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a big deal, and I want to be able, if he wants to take the liking to it, I don't want to push him to do nothing. But it would be cool for me to let him do what my dream was. And if it ain't his dream, it ain't his dream, but it would be cool if he wants to take off with it, that I actually have the means to help him.
Right, and you know, you're letting him figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know my dad, he kept me cleaning the stalls, breaking, you know, water troughs, you know, when there was ice on them, and doing the grunt work, and kind of sent me off to school and hope I'd go that route and maybe come back to it later. And you know, being at all these deals behind the computer, it really makes you want to get saddled down.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And, you know, people say whatever it is, you ain't gonna get rich doing this for a living, especially training horses. You make money buying, selling, commissions, winnings, but we really ain't in it for money. I love a horse, and I don't ever see myself doing anything different. You know, maybe cowboying one day again, but I love a horse, and for me, it ain't about getting rich. It's a challenge. It's a competitive sport, but the mental side of it's probably the funnest thing to me, because 9 times out of 10 we're our own worst enemies.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And, you know, finally coming together with, you know, that 2-year-old you've been working all spring, or, you know, that 3-year-old that's been a little bit behind, or finally coming together and understanding each other and getting within, you know, one movement and getting where you need to be. I mean, that's just got to be all the more rewarding.
Well, the most rewarding thing to me is, I think 2-year-old guys, they hold a special place in my heart, because probably one of the hardest jobs there is, in my opinion. For me, it's 3-year-olds, because you grind and you try to figure out what makes their ticker tick. But when the light bulb comes on, it's the most satisfying thing I've ever felt. You know, I love 3-year-olds. Like, it's probably one of my biggest things that I look forward to is as soon as that 3-year-old's light bulb comes on, it's the coolest thing because it's almost like mowing grass. You know, when you get done, you can look back and be like, damn, I got there.
Yeah, I did the work, and this is the result.
Yeah, and the funnest thing to me is they're no different than us, man. We're humans, they're animals, body parts are the same, minds, and the funnest thing is you have to treat every one of them differently. You know, like you might have to use a little bit of force on one to get it to pay attention and respect you, and then the other one might be like, so like one might be like me as a kid, where my dad took his belt off and just whipped me.
Yeah.
And he had to make it stick. Where like my brother, my dad could look at and be like, man, I'm disappointed, and he would melt. And that's the coolest thing about these horses, you know. If you had to train them all the same, I'd quit.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect of it and how they take different things like pressure and responsibility and thought process, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. And it's never repetitive. It's never the same thing every time. It's always a different challenge. And
no, if you ever go in there with a premeditated thought of, I need to fix this, they're going to throw something totally different at you. So it's like every day it's just a clean slate, you know?
Yep.
And that's cool.
You get on and you figure it out as you go.
And it's a field game, and that's probably the funnest thing to me is training cutting horses is based off of feel, timing. Like Lloyd's timing with a cow, there's not none like Brad Mitchell, prettiest hip shotter I've ever seen. I've seen Brad Mitchell hip shot one in the snaffle, and they thought God came down and smacked him across the face. You know what I mean? Like his timing's that good, Big A's timing's that good. All your you take those top 20 riders and their timing is that good. And that's the funnest part to me is every day just working a little harder to hone your skill and letting every horse teach you something. You know, some horses might be screwing you, or you might think a horse is screwing you, but it's trying to tell you something, and you're letting your own ignorance get in the way, saying, hey, this horse is screwing me. It ain't screwing you. It's trying to tell you something. You're just being too ignorant to listen.
You've already got that pre-notion thought.
Exactly. That's why every day has to be a clean slate.
Wow. So we've talked a little bit about the kind of highlights and the ups and rainbows and unicorns, what they call it. But were there any moments in your career where you thought, man, is this am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to pull myself out of this? Like, is this?
Yeah, that first year I went out on my own, I had Speakeasy that I had a pretty successful futurity on. I was reserve limited behind Harris Shepherd on that good Bama Cat Gilded that stud. It's a stud, and I think his name's Playful Bama Cat.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that one.
The gray horse. Yeah, Harris Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smoked me down in the finals, and I've never yelled so loud. The horse was getting it. I think I laid down like a 22. Harris comes in there, and man, this horse was on a different level. Like, I screamed the whole run.
Right.
And that was cool. So I come off of there, and like I'd already give Lloyd I think it was like 3 or 4 months notice. So then I went out on my own after the futurity, and I go to Abilene, and man, I have a decent string of horses. I'm like, yeah, this is my time to shine. I think I showed like 12, 13 head of horses. Made one back to the intermediate.
Wow.
I got smoked. And I remember sitting down talking to Chelsea, and I was like, Chelsea, how are we going to survive? I was so confident coming into this show. I thought I had these horses like ready to gin, and I did get beat down. And Clay come up to me and he talked to me and he said, hey, get ready. This is the way it works. He said the main thing is after every run, you don't lose your cool, you reassess, you figure a different plan, and just go from there. Well, I was too ignorant and listened to him. After every run, I just got madder. Well, this goes on. That first year, I had a little bit of success here and there. Customers had a lot of success, so I went to focusing on customer success, because evidently my success was not there.
Wasn't
you know what I
at
mean?
the top, yeah.
And I just remember that first year, I was like, gosh dang. Second year was a little better. Still a lot more lows than highs. And I'll never forget, I think it was last year, Chelsea told me, she said, hey, 3 years ago you were loading horses in that back part of Will Rogers. I said, do what? She said, yeah, you were getting horses ready for Lloyd still. She said, yeah, you were training. But don't forget where you came from. And that helped quite a bit, It was a good check as far as, I think sometimes, especially being young, we're so focused on where we want to be, we forgot where we came from, and that 3 years ago we were begging to be where we're at.
Yeah.
So my main deal is I've tried to take the ups with the downs. It's no different. I had the best show I've ever had in my life at the non-pro. Like, I've never had a show like that. And Chelsea said, what do you think? And coming into the show, we were driving in together, and I said, I'm just going to go try to show these horses. And she said, are you pumped up? And I said, babe, after a show like that, I would like to have my chest bowed out, but I'm probably going to get my ass handed to me. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, that's just the way it works. But I think as long as you're real with yourself and extremely realistic, and you know where you're at and know where you want to be, because that's the one thing Lloyd always told me, is he said, never be unrealistic at where you're at in your career. And as long as you stay realistic, you handle the ups and downs better. And hopefully one day I'll be like Lloyd, and if I have a great show, hell yeah. If I don't, nobody knows I'm upset about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like, you had that mentality coming into this deal after the non-pro, and it worked out just fine, champion, open finalist, and,
No, it's
worked out
been
good.
great, and I've always wanted to be able to showcase that mare, because she's extremely special to me, mainly because they've gotten to see her, but like when it came to finals or something always happened. Like, I feel like in the finals I've been snake bit on that mare, besides the eye.
Right.
Other than that, I feel like a bobble happened, and it wasn't, like, it's one of those deals like, shoot, that wasn't supposed to happen. Or like at the non-pro, I love this brown cow. Brown cow was terrible, took me out of the cut. And like, I went up to all my peers, like Craig Thompson, somebody who I look to for advice about cattle, because I think you don't pull none by him. And I walked up to Craig and I was like, man, was I wrong about that brown cow? Did you like the brown cow? He said, man, I had a star next to the brown cow. I'm like, what did I miss in the settling of the brown cow? And he's like, yes, you didn't miss nothing. And I'm like, no, Craig, I had to miss something. So it's always been something small that took me out. So for me to be able to showcase her, it was huge for me, because I wanted everybody to see what I've gotten the pleasure to feel. You know what I mean? The mare's, she's a freak. And if you walk up to her, she ain't big. And she drags her ass, she rips, she cares about a cow more than most horses dream of. So it was very, it's like when you finally cross that finish line, and you're like, my God, I did it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Finally. Yeah, after all these finals, after all these, so close, just random, what ifs. You've got that championship in the bag on Showboat, and got that secured. So
Well, yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it was big, and like that semifinals run, thank God there wasn't a microphone hooked up to my head.
No mic'd up on the old Cass Tatum cutting horses.
Thank God it wasn't, because I'd hate for people to know the things I was saying, you know what I mean? But when that cow married up, all I heard was Clay yelling, "Focus on your cow, watch your cow." The whole time I'm thinking, dear God, please, we call her Ziggy. I'm like, Ziggy, just stay with me. Just please listen to me. I know there's 2 cows out there, just please. And when them cows split and she took it, I was like, wow. It's a true testament of the horse that she is, you know. And my biggest goal coming into the show is I'd won like 89,000 on that mare. Probably 90, 91 with weekend shows. And I told Chelsea, I said, I want to get her to 100,000. So for me, getting her to 100,000 was huge, because I didn't make the futurity finals on her. And all these other horses, which are great horses, they've won, you know, 150, 200,000, but they had all that extra at the futurity. And I feel like it's been so awesome to win 100,000 on her in, you know, 7 months the hard way.
It's really a grind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a grind. So that was cool.
Well, that's awesome. So what are the, after the summer spec finishes up here, what do the next few weeks look like for Cass Tatum?
Man, I'm gonna just take a little time.
You're not going to be a homebody, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a homebody for a minute. I haven't quite sat down and talked to all the customers yet. I would like to weekend for a little bit, work on 3-year-olds. I feel like I have a pretty decent string of 3s. I'd like to stay at home. I hit it pretty hard from, you know, the first of the year to the Derby, and I'd like to go to the Bash weekend, go to the Bash and get my 3-year-olds where I feel comfortable going into the futurity, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, well, that sounds like a pretty solid schedule. I've got one last question for you. It might be the most important question of all. While you're on the road, what is your go-to fast food? Go-to fast food joint?
Man,
are you a fast food guy?
well, yeah, we have to eat on the fly quite a bit. Man, I'm the most unpickiest eater there is. Like, as long as it ain't liver, I'm golden.
Liver or gizzards, huh?
I love gizzard.
Okay, there you go.
I'm 100% gizzard, man. I tell you what, like while I'm down here, my favorite, I guess you could call it fast food, is the Great Outdoors.
Okay.
Or believe it not, chicken salad chick.
Chicken salad chick, really?
I love chicken salad. My grandma, she cooked those.
She got a special recipe or something?
Well, I don't know, but she made a lot of chicken salad, and I love pimento cheese, and they got some damn good pimento cheese over there.
Well, there you go.
And that Great Outdoors is sweet. And I'm a sandwich guy. I like Subway quite a bit.
Subway, little McAllister's, or
yeah, I can do any of them. I'm fairly easy. If you make it spicy, I like it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you ought to try, and if you ever go by Weatherford, they got a Rule the Roost. That's a new place off 20.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
If you like spicy, they'll give you some spice.
It's good, yeah.
I'm quite the fan of it, but yeah,
I like good old B-Duffs.
Can't go wrong with B-Duffs.
I like a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing like Cajun. They got traps in Weatherford.
Yeah,
Cajun
that ain't
trap,
bad.
yeah.
Yes.
Whenever you're in town. What about up in Oklahoma? Any good eats up there?
Well, in Ardmore, of course, we go to Cafe Alley quite a bit. My wife loves Cafe Alley.
Yeah.
I like Cafe Alley.
I went there for your birthday.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and I'm a huge Mexican food lover. I love Mexican food, so I like Patrios quite a bit there in Ardmore.
Yeah. You make it out to Uncle Julio's yet over on
Oh
Canada?
yeah, we hit that one
boy.
up. I like me some Uncle Julio.
Yeah.
The Jalisco, that's where it's at.
It's a must have.
And anytime you get to go bullshit with Tom Holt's son, you in the money, man.
Yeah,
I
you're
love
not
that guy.
yeah.
I love that guy.
If you aren't there, you're missing out.
Listen, it ain't all bad. He has a man bun. He's a great guy.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Cass, we'll go ahead and get out of here. I'm sure they're going to need to clean this thing with a couple of chemicals while we get out of here.
I would imagine, get that bad stuff off of here.
Well, thank you for joining us, Cass.
Thanks,
it was
bro.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for
we'll
having
see
me.
you around. Yes,
Cheers,
sir.
yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.